Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapad Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees here at iskcon Chowpatty. Today is the auspicious occasion of Gita Jayanti. On this auspicious occasion, with the blessings of all the devotees here, let us discuss the glories of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita as spoken by Lord Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra to enlighten his dear friend, cousin and devotee Krishna, Arjuna. So as all of us are aware, the background of this Bhagavad Gita is very unique. While many scriptures are written by sages in their hermitages or in some hilly areas, in some secluded forests. Especially Vyasadeva has written so many scriptures. But this scripture, Bhagavad Gita, is spoken just before a war. That is a unique setting in which Bhagavad Gita knowledge has manifested. And while many other scriptures are written by some sages, Bhagavad Gita is that book that is directly spoken by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So very unique. To add to the uniqueness of this scripture, it is coming directly from the Supreme Lord Krishna in an emergency situation where his supreme devotee is in a dilemma, whether to fight or not. So Arjuna expressed his deep concerns in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in the Arjuna Vishada Yoga. He expressed his doubts, concerns, and unwillingness to fight. He confidently confronted all these Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Shakuni, Bhishma, Drona, and all these supporters of Duryodhan on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Although he confidently confronted, he was not convinced within. As soon as Arjuna saw his relatives, he became very emotional. He came up with multiple reasons why he cannot fight. And they seem very logical, rational, cultural. In various ways, Arjuna's reasons also are very appealing to a normal human being. One of my friends, when I was in my master's IASC, one of my friends said, Arjuna should not have fought in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna was a lover of peace. He did not like violence. But it is Krishna who spoke Bhagavad Gita and instigated Arjuna to be violent. It is because of Krishna's inspiration or Krishna's instigation that Arjuna agreed to fight. But otherwise, Arjuna was not inclined to fight. That is correct. But the conclusion that he is drawing is Arjuna was a peace lover, Krishna is a violence lover. But the reality, if you just go a little deeper into the emotions of Krishna and Arjuna, it's not that Arjuna declined to fight in the Kurukshetra war because of his love for peace. Arjuna declined to fight in the war because there was confusions in the mind. The background of Arjuna's proposal for peace and going against violence is confusion in the mind. He is confused about his duty. And Krishna said, you should fight. Yuddhasva vigata jvaraha. Give up your lethargy and fight. When Krishna told Arjuna to fight, it's not that Krishna loved violence and he hated peace. Because Krishna had a higher purpose behind this so-called violence also. The purpose of Krishna's descent on this planet is paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. The purpose for which Lord Krishna appeared on this earth planet is paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the righteous people. Second, vinashaya cha dushkritam, to punish vicious people. Then dharma samsthapanarthaya, to establish virtue, morality, principles, dharma. Krishna appeared. Sambhavami yuge yuge, and Krishna appears multiple times, in multiple forms, in multiple yugas. So this is the background of Krishna's descent. Now, one of these three purposes of Krishna's descent is vinashaya cha dushkritam, to destroy inimical people, envious people, to punish vicious people, to establish dharma, to protect innocent people. And Krishna personally did all these three purposes. He executed these three purposes by killing so many demons like Arishtasur, Bakasur, Vatsasur, Vyomasur, Potana, Keshi. All such demons were killed by Krishna. When he was a small child, he liberated them. Thus, Krishna did some vinashaya cha dushkritam to some degree. In his childhood. And even when he's grown up also in Mathura, Krishna destroyed the armies of Jarasandha 17 times. He also liberated demons like Shalva, Vidhurata, Dantavakra, Shishupal, Kamsa, Chanura, Mushtika, Shala, Toshala, Kota. So like that he already did vinashaya cha dushkritam so much. But sometimes Krishna fulfills these three purposes through some of his devotees also. Right? He wanted to kill Kalayavana, but he did not do. Krishna did not do that. Krishna ran away from Mathura and he got a special name called Ranachor. because of running away from battlefield. And Kalayavana started chasing Krishna. And Krishna directed Kalayavana to Muchukunda's cave. And Kalayavana went inside Muchukunda's cave and kicked Muchukunda. And Muchukunda opened his eyes and Kalayavana was burnt to ashes. So Krishna did not do this. Vinashaya dushkritam. Krishna allowed his devotee Muchukunda to do that Vinashaya dushkritam. Right? Similarly, Krishna defeated Jarasandha 17 times. But Krishna did not kill Jarasandha. He allowed Bhima to kill Jarasandha. He empowered him. He gave him idea. Just bifurcate his body into two pieces and throw in different directions. He'll be killed. He's giving so many indications, sitting, standing in front of Bhima. And Krishna did not kill Duryodhan. Krishna did not kill many other demons. But he allowed Bhima to kill. He allowed Arjuna to kill. Because these three purposes, paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya, these three are definitely meant to be executed by Krishna, but Krishna's devotees also have the responsibility to assist Krishna in executing these three purposes. Pandavas are also supposed to do vinashaya dushkritam. As devotees of Krishna, Pandavas also have the responsibility of doing paritranaya sadhuna. As representatives of Krishna, even Pandavas and many other devotees of Krishna are also supposed to do dharma samsthapana. Right? Not that they are equal to Krishna, but they are representatives of Krishna. As instruments in Krishna's hands, they are supposed to assist Krishna in executing these three purposes. Acharyas explain like this. That's why Krishna said in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, very beautifully, he says that I have already killed all these people. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna gives an argument to Krishna. Apart from so many arguments, one indication is, Oh Madhusudana, you are known to kill demons like Madhu and many other people, Kamsa, etc. But you have not killed Ugrasena. You have not killed Sandipani Muni. Why are you asking me to kill my grandfather Bhishma, my guru Drona? You have not killed your guru or your grandfather. But Krishna says that, Krishna indicates that I don't care who is my relative, who is my family member and who is not. Actually speaking, everybody is a family member of Krishna. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita also, Mamaivaamsho jiva loke jiva bhutas sanatanaha. All the living beings are my amshas. They are my parts and parcels. These living beings are my children. Aham bija pradah pitaha. Thus everybody is a family member of Krishna. But you want that family member, they have to be like directly the sons of Krishna or family members of Krishna, then only we'll accept that Krishna wouldn't discriminate between family members and those who are not. Okay, fine. Krishna has other examples. He killed his maternal uncle, Kamsa. He killed his own son, Narakasur. Who is Narakasur? Krishna's son. In the presence of Satyabhama, Bhuvi Devi. So in the presence of the mother, he is killing his son because the son is in a wrong path. So I don't have partiality. Just because somebody happens to be my sons or relatives or whatever, I don't spare them if they follow adharma. So Krishna said in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, that Arjuna, I have orchestrated this Kurukshetra war just to destroy all the miscreants on this planet Earth through you. I don't want to destroy. I have given up my weapons. I just want to be driver of your chariot and a mentor, a guide, a counselor for you when you are confused. But I don't need to kill. He said, Riteya pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve. Except you people, Pandavas, who are righteous, I have already destroyed all these people. They are still there standing. No, as soon as they insulted Draupadi, I have already decided their death. For me, decision is execution. So when Krishna decides something, just rest assured, it's already done. So, na samshayaha. When Krishna assures something, it's already executed, it's already done. and it's your job to execute it. Right? Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Mayaivaite nihataha purvameva. By me, all of them have already been killed. Mayaivaite nihataha purvameva. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. You are Savyasachi. I know that. Savyasachi means one who can release arrows from both his hands. Although you are so expert in your warfare, although you have such great military certificates, although you are such a famous, celebrated warrior in this entire planet Earth, although you are a Savyasachi, still you are a Nimitta Matram. He uses the same words in the same line. Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasachin. You are a Savyasachi, but you are a Nimitta Matram, just my instrument. You just have to execute my will. You have to manifest my decision. And you win the glory. Right? Now somebody may say, you have taken decision and I have to do execution or what? Yeah, correct. That's what is happening here. But you become the hero. How does the shloka begin? He says that you jitva shatrun bhangshva rajyam samruddham. Jitva shatrun, you become the conqueror of enemies. Bhangshva rajyam samruddham. You just enjoy a flourishing kingdom. And you become the hero. And I have already killed them. I am killing and I am giving you the credit of killing. So, nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. You just become my instrument. By becoming an instrument, you will become glorious as the hero for all time to come. As the hero of battlefield of Kurukshetra. Bhima becomes the hero. Arjuna becomes the hero. And Krishna becomes the driver. Right? So, now, Bhagavad Gita contains a lot of philosophy. It's not a story book. It's filled with philosophy. Yet, apart from his philosophical presentation, Krishna also gives Bhagavad Gita an emotional angle. Right? So when we are reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it's not that we are being equipped with only philosophical conclusions, only siddhantas, only facts and figures, or information about how the universe is created, and information about Krishna's glories, and other philosophical truths like Kala, Karma, Swabhava, Ishvara, Jiva, the three material modes, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun, and how they function and how they influence people of this world. It's not that Krishna is only speaking about different types of yogas. Yoga, linking our consciousness with the Supreme. And if you link your consciousness with the Lord through your activities, it is Karma Yoga. If you connect your consciousness with the Lord through your knowledge, it is called Jnana Yoga. And if you try to connect with the Lord through meditation, it is Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. And if you connect with Him through love, through emotion, through service, loving devotional service, then it becomes Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna spoke about 4 yogas, 3 modes, 5 topics, and different other aspects of Vaishnava character. But apart from all these wonderful contents of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is also pouring out his emotions, his love, his affection for all of us. So Bhagavad Gita begins with and ends with a beautiful emotional expression of Krishna. Right? Arjuna was confused in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. He just could not understand what was his duty, what he was supposed to do. And in such a situation, he expressed all his feelings to Krishna and said, Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight. He just kept aside his Gandiva bow. Now, in this context, Krishna immediately started chastising Arjuna. Klaibyam masmagamaha partha naitatva upapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktva uttishta parantapa. You are Parantapa. We are glorifying you as the conqueror of enemies, Parantapa. But Klaibyam masmagamaha partha naitatva upapadyate. Where has this impotency overcome you? In this hour of crisis, you are behaving like a coward, like an impotent person. Does it befit you? Does it befit your background? Does it befit your current situation? Where you are supposed to be the prominent warrior on the side of Pandavas and supposed to fight on behalf of your brother Yudhishthir, and conquer the kingdom by defeating all these miscreants like Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karana, Shakuni and all these people. And now he says, I cannot fight. I'll go out and beg. I'll renounce the kingdom. I'll renounce my claim. Or I will be killed by my enemies unarmed. So this is very alarming. Arjuna, you are not meant to be doing like this. So Krishna is not just neutrally speaking philosophy. He is making a personal connection with Arjuna and saying that Arjuna, this doesn't befit you. And meanwhile, Krishna also smiles at Arjuna. And Arjuna says, he expresses his indecision more and more. Then finally, Arjuna says, my dear Lord, now you have played the role of my charioteer, before that my cousin, my friend, my Lord, now please become my Guru. You please accept the position of my spiritual master, I will become your disciple, please clear my confusions. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavah pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetah yah shreyasyan nischitam bruhitanmi sishyaste ham shadhimam tvam prapannam. He says, Karpanya dosha apahata svabhava means because of my miserly weakness, I have completely lost my intelligence. What is miserly here? A miser is a person who has a lot of money, but he doesn't use it. Right? But here Arjuna is considering himself miser because he has a lot of intelligence, but he is unable to use it. He has a lot of wisdom, experience, even military strength. All that he has, but he is in a position where he is unable to use it practically in this war. Karpanya dosha. Apahata svabhava. Pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetah. In this situation of confusion, dharma sammudha chetah, I am confused about performing my dharma, my duty as a kshatriya. Pritchami tvam, I am asking you, Krishna. He says, Yah shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me. Whatever is beneficial to me, whatever you think benefits me, useful to me, right for me to do. I understand it is my right to fight, but I don't know whether it is right to fight with my own relatives. You please tell me what is right. Yah shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me. Sishyaste ham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Please accept me as your disciple, as your sishya. Sishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. So then, immediately Krishna smiled and accepted him as a sishya. My dear devotees, whatever role they want me to play, I will play. If they want me to become Guru, I will become Guru. If they want me to become their friend, yes, I am a loving friend. If they ask me to become their chariot driver, no problem. I will drive their chariot. So Krishna can play any role because he has an emotional bonding with all his devotees. With everybody, but some realize their emotional bonding with Krishna, some don't. Otherwise, Krishna has a bonding, a relationship, an eternal spiritual relationship with every single living entity. Even if these living entities perform such abominable and sinful activities and enter lower species also, Krishna doesn't leave them. Although they want to leave Krishna, Krishna never leaves them. He stays right within their hearts. This also Krishna says. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir gnanam apohanam cha. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishto. I stay within the hearts of all living entities. And I give them the knowledge. I give them the remembrance. I give them the forgetfulness. Because I love them. Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, Krishna, in his form as super soul, Paramatma, he stays within the hearts of all living entities because he loves them. Krishna is not only teaching philosophy in this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is also expressing and declaring how much love he has. That emotional angle also we can see. So Arjuna, you are confused. I will become your Guru now. Earlier I was your chariot driver. Before that I was your friend, your cousin, your messenger before the war. Sarathya parishada sevana sakhya dautya Virasananugamanastavana pranaman Snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha Vishnor Bhaktim karoti nripatis charanara vinde. Sarathi, Krishna became a Sarathi, a chariot driver of Arjuna. Parishada, he also received Agra Puja in Rajasuya sacrifice, the first puja, worship. Now where is driver position and where is like recipient of Agra Puja? In such a great sacrifice conducted by Yudhishthira Maharaj in Indraprastha, where several universal celebrities have assembled, Brahmarshis, Rajarshis, Devarshis, Devatas, kings, Kshatriyas, Brahmanas from all backgrounds, they all have assembled there, and amongst all of them Krishna is the supreme and he must receive the first worship. And sometime back, Krishna's job, Krishna's service is to receive guests and wash their feet. Krishna can do that job also. Krishna can sit and receive Agra Puja also. Krishna can appreciate Pandavas also. Krishna can behead, who is that? Shishupala also, if he does some mischief. Sarathya Parishada Sevana, he is like a servant. For the Pandavas, Sakhya, like a friend. Dautya, like a messenger. Virasana Anugamanastavana Pranaman. Virasana, he is like a watchman, guarding them from all kinds of calamities. Anugamana, following their footsteps. Whenever Krishna meets the Pandavas, he offers obeisances to Yudhishthira and Bhima because they are elder to him. He embraces Arjuna because equal in age. And he blesses Nakul and Sahadev because they are younger. See, he is the Supreme Lord. They all offer obeisances to him, but he says, etiquette, yes, they are elders to me. And he is king also. Krishna is not a king. Yes, Krishna is king of all rasas, Rasaraj. But he is not the king of Mathura. Ugrasen is the king. He is not the king of Dwaraka. Ugrasen is the king. He is Dwarakadhish, he is Mathuradhish. But in terms of his sweetness and his greatness, not exactly in terms of his position or post. Right? Ugrasena is given that post. Okay, you sit there. I'll report to you, my dear Ugrasena. Right? So Krishna can play any role in connection with his devotees, especially the Pandavas. Virasana Anugamana, following them, following their instructions. Stavana, praising them. Pranama, and offering obeisances to them. Why? Snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha Vishnor. Although Krishna is non-different from Vishnu, in front of whom entire Jagat will offer pranams. All the universes, the universal residents and the universal rulers will come and offer prostrated obeisances to Krishna, and that Krishna is offering pranam to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Stavana pranama. Why? Snigdheshu pandushu. Because all the Pandavas are malleable by the will of the Lord, Krishna becomes malleable by their desires. Right? And Arjuna said, no, I will not fight. Krishna said, okay, I will fight. He did not say that. Krishna did not say, if you don't fight, I will get the fight done through Bhima or someone else. Why? Krishna had to convince Arjuna, you speaking entire Bhagavad Gita. So to make one warrior fight, when he said, I can't fight, why Krishna had to spend so much time speaking Bhagavad Gita? He has so many other warriors. He himself is a warrior. He can call Anjaneya or Hanuman. Hanuman, come and fight. I think Arjuna is not fighting. You are sitting on the flag. Please come down. You fight. Arjuna is not fighting. He is going home. He did not call Hanuman. He has so many other instruments. But Krishna wanted Arjuna to take the credit of being an instrument. You become the hero. So, you become Nimitta Matra, although you are a Savyasachi. I want you to take credit. I want you to become the hero of Kurukshetra war. So Krishna immediately took the position of a guru of Arjuna. Because every single soul is important for Krishna. Even those people who are dying on the battlefield of Kurukshetra are also important for Krishna. He liberates them. Whoever saw Krishna and died in the presence of Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra went to the spiritual world. You want proof? Go to Srimad Bhagavatam. Tathaiva chanye naraloka viraya ahave Krishna mukharavindam netraih pibantyo nayanabhiramam parthastra padamapurasya. Tathaiva chanye naraloka vira. All the naraloka viras, all the great heroes in this planet Earth have assembled there on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Ya ahave Krishna mukharavindam. And they had this opportunity of beautifully relishing the face of lotus face of Krishna, Krishna mukharavindam. Netraihi pibanto, they are drinking the nectarian beverage of Krishna's beauty through their eyes. Nayana bhiramam. And on top of it, parthastra padamapurasya. Partha is releasing astras like this. Because he is a devotee, this Partha is a devotee, the astra that is coming out of his bow can also have a purifying effect on the person who is being killed. He is killing and you are saying he is purifying him? Yeah, killing is purifying. Right? Just like when Krishna kills, people get liberated. Even when Arjuna kills, also people get liberated. They get purified. Parthastra putam. Putam means purification. Padama apurasya. They attain Paramapadam. They attain the supreme destination of the spiritual realm. So Krishna is only expressing love, although he is orchestrating a ghastly war on the Kurukshetra battlefield. He is expressing his love for Krishna, love for Arjuna. He is expressing his love for everybody. Whoever is being killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and whoever is hearing Bhagavad Gita after 5000 years now also, and whoever is distributing Bhagavad Gita, whoever is taking Bhagavad Gita, whoever is giving Gita, he is blessing all of them with this knowledge, right? Because what he has for all living entities is only love, affection. Ideally, Arjuna cannot be confused. Arjuna is not confused. He is a pure devotee of Krishna. Prabhupada writes in the purports that Arjuna is acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands, not only to kill the Kauravas. Arjuna is also acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands to enlighten all of us. Arjuna cannot be confused. He has full clarity of thought. He knows what to do. But because he is a pure devotee, he is an associate of Krishna. If you and me get confused, that's fine. But when Arjuna standing next to Krishna, if he gets confused, it's very surprising, astonishing. But Arjuna's confusion is also in one sense the will of Krishna, so that to enlighten confused Arjuna, Krishna will speak Bhagavad Gita at a very crucial context in this Mahabharata setting. And through Arjuna, he is giving us Bhagavad Gita teachings. We are the right recipients. And Arjuna is an instrument to transmit the teachings. And he is asking questions on our behalf. Not only Arjuna and Krishna conversation, if you go to Srimad Bhagavatam also, Parikshit Maharaj asks several basic questions that fall way below his standard of devotion. Vidura asks so many questions to Maitreya that fall way below his standard of devotion. They are asking all these questions on behalf of simple people, common conditioned souls, so that the speakers of Bhagavatam and here speaker of Bhagavad Gita can enlighten common people through this audience. Right? So Arjuna said, I want to accept you as my guru. You accept me as your disciple. Krishna said, yes, of course, why not? I acknowledge your emotions. I'll play any role that you want me to play. Then he started speaking Atma Tattva. He said, soul is ever alive, body is never alive. Why are you lamenting for the body? There is no need to lament for the body. Even if you don't kill the bodies of all these relatives, don't think that they will go home. Prabhupada says in one class like that, don't think that they will go home. They will be killed in another war. Even if they don't participate in any war, they will be naturally killed. Naturally they will die. Nobody can stay in one body forever. Even if they do 100 years of tapasya and please all the devatas and get some benedictions to become immortal like Hiranyakashipu, they have to die one day. One cannot escape death. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam shochitum arhasi. There is no need for you to lament. One who has entered a body must leave the body. He has to die. One has left the body, if he still has karma left, he has to enter another body. Birth is inevitable, death is inevitable in this material world for all conditioned souls. Why are you crying unnecessarily? You think you are killing them? Your fire weapon, your water weapon, your wind weapon, your Agneya Astra, Vayu Astra, Varuna Astra, none of these astras have the ability to kill the soul. Soul is my part and parcel. You understand that? I am spiritual. Soul is also spiritual. I am birthless and deathless. The soul also is birthless and deathless. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah. Ajo nityah shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. He says that the soul has no birth, soul has no death. When the body dies, the soul doesn't die. Please understand this, Arjuna. Now it's like a philosophical teaching. But Arjuna says, okay, logically what you said is correct, but you have not addressed my emotions. That's why I said sometime back, Gita is not only giving a logical, philosophical, rational, intellectual presentation. Gita also addresses the emotions of the hearers. Arjuna said that Krishna, I understand that soul is eternal, soul has no death, body has to die one day, body is perishable. But it is through the bodies of my relatives that I am connecting with them. If Bhishma's body is gone, if Drona's body is gone, how can I connect with them? You are giving logic that their bodies are anyways perishable, soul is eternal, and even if you kill them, in the next life they will get better bodies in a better planet because they are exalted people. Logically, what you said makes sense, but emotionally, I have a bonding with them through these bodies. Therefore, body is also important. Then Krishna says, yes, I acknowledge your emotions. My dear Arjuna, Krishna is not brushing aside Arjuna's arguments. I acknowledge your emotions. I have a formula for you. What is that? Tolerate. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhadah agamapayino nityah tam stitikshasva bharata. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sita ushna sukha dukkhadah. Heat and cold come and go. Summer and winter come and go. Similarly, happiness and distress also come and go. Please develop this ability to tolerate happiness and distress. Your relatives will die. I understand that you are able to connect with them through their bodies, and the bodies are also important in that way. But through the bodies they have committed sins. Through the bodies they have taken the side of adharma. What's the logic of still getting attached to their bodies? I am saying you getting attached to your body itself is Maya. If you get attached to someone else's body, how bigger Maya it is. And on top of it, if the other people are doing adharma through those bodies, how can you be attached to that bodies? We tolerate. I understand your emotions, but you should tolerate. He says that agama apayino anityaha. This happiness and distress comes and goes. Body comes and body goes. After going, body will not come again, by the way. Going means going. That's all. So when you say agamapayino, bodies comes and go. I mean, different bodies come and go. Same body will not come again. Right? That is clear. But Krishna says that you should develop the bandwidth to tolerate things. Tam stitikshasva bharata. But when you are tolerating the dualities of happiness, distress, success, failure, victory, defeat, etc., you are still able to make out the difference between happiness and distress. This is happiness, I must tolerate. This is distress, I must tolerate. I understand this is distress and it is very unpalatable, very uncomfortable for me. But knowing that it is temporary, let me just tolerate it. Similarly, I understand this is distress, this is happiness. It gives me a lot of comfort, but still I have to tolerate. I should not get overexcited, elated, overconfident, proud. I must tolerate. But Krishna gives another formula which is beyond tolerance also. In 2.14, Krishna said just tolerate. You may have a lot of emotional ups and downs because sukha and dukkha are on emotional plane. Sita and Ushna are on physical plane. Man, Apaman, they are on egoistic plane. Krishna says exhibit tolerance on all three planes. Sitoshna sukhadukkeshu tatha manapamanayoho. Sita and Ushna, heat and cold on bodily plane, tolerate. Sukha and dukkha, happiness and distress on a mental plane, tolerate. Emotional plane, tolerate. Man, apaman, honor and dishonor, respect and disrespect, they are an egoistic plane, that also you should tolerate. But above tolerance is another important lesson, quality that we need to cultivate, that is equanimity. When you are tolerating happiness and distress, you are still able to differentiate between them. This is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, this is pleasant, this is unpleasant. But when you come to the level of equanimity, you don't even differentiate between what is happiness, what is distress. That's what Krishna says in the next shloka. Yam hinavyatha yantyete purusham purusharshabha sama dukkha sukham dhiram somrutatvaya kalpate. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. It's not titiksha anymore. It is sama. Happiness and distress are same. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. You are a dhira. See happiness and distress on an equal plane. Then, so amritatvaya kalpate, then you will be able to attain. Amritattva means deathlessness, immortality, or you will attain the spiritual plane. Happiness and distress affect a person on the material plane. Our material emotions are getting affected. Material mind is getting influenced by this happiness and distress. But one who is on the spiritual plane, they will not be affected. Like simple explanation. How can you see happiness and distress on an equal plane? They are totally opposite to each other. How can you see them equally? They are equal in the sense that they have no relevance to the spirit soul. If you are a spirit soul, if you are in spiritual consciousness, whatever is happening on the material plane is of no relevance to you. In that sense, they are equal. Definitely, happiness and distress are not equal. Sukha, dukkha are not equal. Man, apman are not equal. Heat and cold are not equal. Black and white are not equal. But all of them are equal in the sense that they have no relevance to you because you are spirit soul. Right? So, for somebody who is traveling on the road, when they see red signal, they have to stop. When they see green signal, they can move ahead. Green signal may give them happiness. Oh, I can move without any obstacle. And red signal will give them distress. Oh, I have to stop now. How long? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour? Traffic jam? That gives them distress. But someone who is flying in an airplane of spiritual consciousness, this red signal of distress or green signal of happiness are of no relevance to somebody who is traveling in an airplane. Right? They are on the level of equanimity. You are on the road, tolerate. When you are traveling on the road, you see the red signal and green signal and tolerate. But when you are traveling in an airplane of spiritual intelligence, then you don't have to tolerate. It's equal to you. Both are same. Both are of no relevance to you. Just because there is a red signal on the road, flight need not stop. Stop. It doesn't get obliged to stop. They have different rules. So elevate your consciousness to a spiritual plane where you find all the material excitements and material exhaustions of no relevance. And Bhagavad Gita helps us come to this plane. Bhagavad Gita urges us to develop this consciousness where you are unaffected by the happiness and distress or respect and disrespect on a material plane, honor and dishonor on a material plane. As long as you are in the material world, just do the needful to address these things. But don't take it to the heart. Don't over-identify with material happiness and distress or material honor and dishonor, your power, position, prestige, privileges, possessions, positions. They are of no relevance to the soul. The soul has eternal connection with Krishna. And moving ahead in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what was that shloka? Sanyasya dhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. Krishna says, rise above the modes. Rising from material plane to spiritual plane basically means raising above the three material modes. How? By taking shelter of Krishna. In the 7th chapter, Krishna says, Daivi hiesha gunavayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in the 2nd chapter, Krishna said, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. The Vedas are talking about three gunas and Nistraigunyo. Come to the state of Nistraigunya, Trigunatita, Gunatita. You come to that level. Give up this material modes. But how to come to that level? How to become transcendental to these three, influence of three gunas? Krishna says in the 7th chapter. Mameva ye prapadyante. Take my shelter. Then this Daivi Hiyesha Gunamayi will become will be of no relevance to you. You can overcome that. So now coming back to this shloka, what is that? Sanyasyadhyatma chetasa. How does it begin? Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa. First Krishna says, Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya. Many times when we hear the word sanyasya or sannyasa, we think of renunciation only. Be detached, be renounced, sanyasya. But Krishna did not just say sanyasya. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasa. Mayi sanyasya means offer them to me. Don't just give up, offer. Give up means I have nothing to do with it. I don't want it. Mera nahi ho. Just reject them, relinquish them, renounce them. But don't stop there. Bhagavad Gita doesn't stop at detachment. It takes you to devotion. Mayi sanyasya means offer them to me, give them to me. Because I gave you. Because I have given that to you, you should give that to me back. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya. In what consciousness? Adhyatma chetasa. In spiritual consciousness, you offer everything to me. Sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Nirashir. Don't have any asha. Pingala says in the Uddhava Gita, Asha hi paramam dukkham nairasyam paramam sukham. Asha, or desire or expectation will cause so much of dukkham. Asha hi paramam dukkham nairasyam paramam sukham. When you don't have expectations, no undue material desires, then paramam sukham, it's such a great relief, great peace. So that's why Krishna says, Nirashir, don't have undue expectations or desires. Nirmamo bhutva, nirmama. Mama means possessiveness, a sense of possessiveness. See, being detached is a mode of goodness. But being very possessive, too much of possession, hey, this is mine, that's in mode of passion. Nirmama, Krishna says, give up this possessiveness. Nothing belongs to you. Understand? Krishna says, nothing belongs to you, just give them up. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigatajvaraha. Yuddhasva means you perform your fight. Vigatajvaraha, without any lethargy. Lethargy is a symptom of ignorance. Tamoguna. Possessiveness or mamatva is a symptom of, what is that? Passion. Right? The simple detachment. That's like word of goodness. Krishna says, rise above all three. This sloka is talking about three modes. Nirashir, nirmamo bhutva, yuddhasva vigatajvaraha. You should give up all these three modes. But nirashi means give up your expectations, be detached. That's on the level of goodness, but the sloka is also talking about something higher than that also. What is that? Sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Come to the spiritual plane. Adhyatma chetasa is above nirashi also. Nirashi is just detachment. Adhyatma chetasa and offering it to Krishna is on the level of spiritual plane. Right? So, now Krishna emphasized on the mode of devotion. You divert your emotion towards me through the process of devotion and then do all your work. Yuddhasva. Don't give up your work. In the name of Nirashi, you can't say, I will not fight. Sometimes Nirashi and sometimes goodness and ignorance seem similar. But a person who is in goodness is detached because he understands everything is temporary. But a person who is in mode of ignorance also seems detached because he is lazy, complacent, confused, deranged, illusioned, bewildered. Therefore, he is not doing anything. It's not out of detachment. That's why sometimes goodness and ignorance may sometimes seem similar. But those who are little wise can understand the distinction between them. But Krishna says, we don't need goodness also, we don't need ignorance also. Come to a stage of devotion, which is beyond the three modes. Practice that. So, moving ahead, Krishna says, if you offer everything to me, if you are in the sanyasya adhyatma chetasa, how will I reciprocate with you? Krishna says in the 5th chapter, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhurdam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shanti mrichhati. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. We may do a lot of yajna, tapasya. Yajna is not just fire sacrifice. Tapasya is not just closing your nose and entering a cave in a forest and then doing some kind of austerities. Any endeavor that's done for a noble purpose can be called tapasya, can be called yajna. All your endeavors are supposed to be enjoyed by Krishna. He is the supreme enjoyer. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. He is the bhokta. He is the enjoyer of our yajnas and tapas. Second point. Sarva loka maheshwaram. He is the Maheshwara. He is the supreme controller of all planets. But Krishna's focus is not on his enjoyership or controllership. In the first line he said, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, I am the enjoyer, I am the supreme enjoyer of all the endeavors of all people. Then Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, I am the supreme proprietor of all planets and all universes basically. Yeshai kanishvashita kala matavalambhya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanatha. All the jagat, all the universes are coming out of his bodily pores. Thus he is the proprietor, he is the supreme proprietor, but he is not focused on his proprietorship or possessiveness. Krishna is teaching that he is following. Earlier he said nirmama, don't be possessive. Krishna also says nirmama. If he is attached to his creation, why will he destroy that creation? He will create, he will destroy also. Those who create, they don't destroy. If there is attachment to the creation, but he is destroying also. Right? Krishna is not restless. Sometimes people destroy their own creation out of their restlessness, out of their derangement or illusion. But Krishna's destruction is not a symptom of his restlessness or illusion or some confusion. Right? It's not self-destructive tendencies. Right? But it's detachment. Okay, let's come to this shloka. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. He's the bhokta, he's Maheshwara. But above these two is the third point about Krishna, third quality of Krishna. Suhurdam sarva bhutanam. He is Suhrit. He is the dearest friend of all living entities. Sarva bhutanam. All living entities are his dear friends. Suhridam sarva bhutanam. Only if you understand Krishna like this, then Shanti Mrichhati will attain real peace. So, although Krishna apparently is recommending violence, although Arjuna apparently looks like a peace lover and Krishna is instigating violence, but you see, Krishna is giving the real peace formula. I know the real peace formula. When I asked you to fight and kill these people, I am not inimical towards any of them. I want them to stop this. If I don't orchestrate this war out of some false compassion upon them, like you are exhibiting now, Arjuna exhibits false tears and false compassion as Prabhupada writes there. Of course, as an instrument in Krishna's will, we are no one to criticize Arjuna. We should learn what not to do, seeing Arjuna's example without offending Arjuna. Because Arjuna is playing that role to give us a lesson on the will of Krishna. So, Krishna told Arjuna that I am asking you to be violent or kill these people on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, not because I am inimical towards them. I am Suhurdam Sarvabhutanam. That Sarvabhutanam includes not only Pandavas, or not only the warriors on Pandavas side. Sarvabhutanam includes Duryodhana also, Dushyasana also, Karna also, Shakuni also, Dhritarashtra also, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, or Drupada, Drona, everybody is included. All the small common foot soldiers, all the horses and elephants, there, sitting there, standing there on the battlefield. Krishna is Suhurdam Sarva Bhutana. Arjuna may assume that I am the well-wisher of all these warriors, therefore I don't kill them. Some people think like that. But nobody can be a greater well-wisher of any living entity than Krishna himself. Krishna is the supreme well-wisher. Suhurdam Sarva Bhutanam. It's not that Suhurdam only for Yadavas or Pandavas or Kurus or some other dynasty or clan. Sarva Bhutanam includes all 84 lakh species. Sarva Bhutanam includes every single living entity. As the Supreme Father, as the Supreme Mother, as the Supreme Creator, as the Supreme Well-Wisher, He exactly knows what is beneficial for every single living entity. Therefore, He is saying, Arjuna, you should fight, and when you defeat these people in fight, they will stop doing these sinful activities more. They will stop committing more sinful activities. Now let them receive some reaction for all the sinful activities that they have already committed that will restrict them from further committing sinful activities and further degrading into hell. And those who are little fortunate, they can even go to spiritual world also. Right? Parthastar Podam Padamapurasya. In this way, Krishna is expressing his emotions. Krishna is expressing his love and affection towards all living entities, and Krishna is definitely not on a only intellectual platform where he is giving some philosophical teachings and presenting only logic and rational analysis to Arjuna. This is why you should fight. Right? They have done so many aggressions, they have done this, they have done this, so much injustice, therefore you should fight, therefore you should fight. He's not just giving some logical, rational, practical instructions to Arjuna to convince him to fight. He gave a very comprehensive philosophy in which he not only spoke a lot of philosophical truths and siddhanta, he also expressed so much of his emotions and concern for all the living entities. He is very concerned about all the living entities. Right? Therefore, the discussion about war in Bhagavad Gita is very limited. Yudhasva Vegata Jarva we have seen. And maybe a few other places he will say war. But most of it is life-transforming philosophy only. Krishna said, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam Buddha bhava samanvitaha. He is not simply saying Buddha samanvitaha, he is saying Buddha bhava samanvitaha. Buddha means you intellectually understand what Krishna is. You understand Krishna's position as the supreme proprietor, supreme controller, supreme master, supreme enjoyer, supreme creator, supreme destroyer, supreme maintainer. That is Buddha. But you start loving Krishna, develop genuine emotional bonding with Krishna, that is bhava. Buddha bhava samanvitaha iti matva bhajante mam. Understanding Krishna's position, don't just stop at that intellectual understanding, just get into a loving bonding with Krishna. Don't just get into a deeper emotional bonding and loving connection with Krishna through the process of Bhakti Yoga. And that is possible when you discuss about Krishna repeatedly with other devotees. That's why in the next shloka Krishna said, Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Macchitta, my devotees have dedicated their chitta completely to me. Madgata prana, they have offered their prana or lives to me. One Acharya gives this explanation. Madgata prana basically means devotees consider Krishna as their life. When Krishna is not there, they think they are lifeless. Just as a fish lives only in water. If you take fish out of water, fish cannot survive. Similarly, if you take a devotee out of touch of Krishna, devotee cannot survive. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam. They enlighten each other. They teach each other. They share their realizations with each other. They do some Guhyamakhyati Prachati, and this Guhyamakhyati Prachati is not some prajalpa or gossip. This Guhyamakhyati Prachati is primarily Krishna Katha, right? Sharing one's realizations about Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Guhyamakhyati Prachati. Bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam. It's not done once in a while. Nityam, on a regular basis they are doing this. Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. It's not an exhaustion. It's not like a to-do list. Every day we are discussing Krishna Katha. Today I sat with this devotee for 10 minutes. I was speaking about Bhagavad Gita shloka. It's not like a to-do list. It is a spontaneous expression of a devotee. Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha. With great relish they are doing it. Ramanti cha. With great satisfaction they are executing this whole process of discussing Harikatha. Right? To such devotees who understand Krishna's position as Sarvasya Prabhavo Mattaha Sarvam Pravartate, who also intellectually understand Krishna's philosophy, Krishna Tattva, and who also develop an emotional bonding towards Krishna, who also absorb themselves in Krishna conscious discussions, to such people, Krishna gives them the necessary intelligence to come to Him, to come back to Him. Gajendra says, Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti evai bhagavat prapanna atyadbhutam tacharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudra magna. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham. Those who are ekantina devotees, completely surrendered, unflinching devotees, na kanchanartham vanchanti. They don't want any other material desires. They don't aspire for anything material. Na kanchanartham vanchanti. Bhagavat prapanna. They are completely surrendered to Krishna. Atyadbhutam tacharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudra magna. Ati adbhutam tacharitam sumangalam. They are constantly absorbed in singing the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, whose activities are ati adbhutam, extremely wonderful. Gayanta, they are singing Ananda Samudra Magna. They immerse themselves in this ocean of Ananda. So Krishna is encouraging this kind of culture amongst devotees. Macchitta madgata prana. If you uphold this culture, then I will give you the necessary intelligence to come to me. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Tesham satata yuktanam. To those devotees who are constantly engaged in these Krishna conscious discussions and doing bhajan priti purvakam, not like putting a tick mark in to-do list, not like a daily chore, but priti purvakam, with enthusiasm, with love, with affection. If they are doing some bhajan of Krishna, priti purvakam, dadami buddhi yogam tam. I will give them the necessary buddhi, intelligence. What kind of intelligence? Yena mam upayanti te. That intelligence by which we can reach Krishna. Many people are intelligent in this world. They are very smart. They are very analytical. They are very philosophical. They are very rational. They are very thoughtful. They have great vision. But in what? To attain more money? To expand their scope of material influence? To gain name, fame, followers, prestige, possessions, positions, privileges, etc.? Yeah, people need intelligence to attain all this. But the specific intelligence that Krishna gives a devotee is that which helps the devotee to come to Krishna. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. If our buddhi, if our analysis, if our intelligence, if our research abilities, if our analytical capabilities is not connecting us to Krishna, what kind of buddhi is that? That buddhi is not given by Krishna. Of course, Krishna only gives any buddhi, right? But in reciprocation with the bhava of the person. Your swabhava inspires Krishna to give that kind of buddhi by which you can explore material nature or come to Him. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. So He gives the necessary intelligence by which we can come to Him. Secondly, He removes all the ignorance that is an obstacle to reach Him. The next shloka He says, Teshamevanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamah nashayami atmabhavastho jnana deepena bhasvata. I will destroy the ignorance in the heart of my devotee by lighting the lamp of knowledge. And this jnana is not speculative, impersonal knowledge. That knowledge, the lamp of knowledge that Krishna lights in the heart of a devotee, is the knowledge of Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, leela, knowing which a devotee completely, helplessly gets attracted to Krishna and gives up all distractions. That kind of knowledge Krishna gives. Knowledge is not just so much knowledge under the sky. There is so much knowledge about so many things. But Krishna gives that knowledge which brings us closer to Him. One is rated as intelligent person only when the intelligence functions in terms of how to serve Krishna, how to connect with Krishna, how to connect with Krishna's devotees. If our intelligence is functioning in so many other ways, disconnected from Krishna, that intelligence is taking us away from Krishna. How can we appreciate the person is intelligent? He can appreciate for all practical purposes, but heartfelt appreciation from a devotee's side comes when another devotee is intelligent to come closer to Krishna and avoids all distractions that take them away from Krishna. Right? Such people are Mahatmas. Right in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Gita has 700 shlokas. Shloka number 350 and 351. Jai Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki jai. Shloka number 350 and 351. That is 9.13 and 14. In the middle of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mahatmanastu mam partha dhaivim prakritimashritah bhajanti ananya manaso gnatva bhutadimavyayam. Mahatmas are those people who take shelter of Daivi Prakriti, who take shelter of the divine energy of Krishna. Srimati Radharani. Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction. This Daivi Prakriti refers to Srimati Radharani. Prabhupada writes there. Right? Take shelter of the divine energy of Krishna, Srimati Radharani. Radha namaiva karyam yanudinamilitam sadhanadhisha koti tyajya nirajya radha padakamala sudham sattumarthanga koti Radha padabjalila bhuvijayati sada mandamandara koti Shri Radha kinkarinam luthati charanayoradbhuta siddhi koti. Prabodhananda Saraswati says in Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi, Radha namaiva karyam yanudinamilitam sadhanadhisha koti. A devotee chants the holy name of Krishna, and along with Krishna, Radharani is also there. Radha Gopinath, Radha Raman. Without Radha, Krishna feels incomplete. So, Hare Krishna Mahamantra has 16 names of Radha, Hari, and 16 names of Krishna. 4 Krishnas and 4 Ramas, both are Krishna. Right? So, Radha namaiva karyam yanudinamilitam sadhanadhisha koti. In this way, chanting the names of the Lord, chanting the names of the Lord's energy is like sadhanadhisha koti. It's like crores of sadhanas or devotional practices done just by chanting the name. You chant the name, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that's equivalent to conducting 1 crore spiritual practices. Radha namaiva karyam yanudinamilitam sadhanadhisha koti tyajya nirajya radha padakamala sudham satpumarthanga koti. Now, surrendering to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti mashritaha, taking shelter of the Daivi Prakriti, Srimati Radharani, is like Tyajya Nirajya Radha Padakamala Sudham Satpumarthanga Koti. It is equivalent or it is greater than attaining hundreds and thousands of Purusharthas. Satpumarthanga Koti means crores of desirable perfections in human life. Generally we take 4. What are the 4? dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So these are called 4 purusharthas or pumarthangas, satpumarthangas. But this shloka says, if you take shelter of Daivi Prakriti Srimati Radharani, it is like Satpumarthanga Koti. You have surpassed the attainment of crores of Purusharthas. Right? Basically, taking shelter of Daivi Prakriti is on that level. Tyajya Nirajya Radha Padakamila Sudham Satpumarthanga Koti Radha Padab Jalila Bhuvi Jayati Sada Mandamandara Koti. When one takes shelter of Daivi Prakriti, Srimati Radharani is the eternal consort of Krishna, what happens is they completely surpass the attainment of even great heavenly planets, even attaining thousands and crores of Kalpavrikshas. Just imagine having one Kalpavriksha, one desire tree is considered a great privilege. But taking shelter of Daivi Prakriti Radharani is greater than having 1 crore Kalpavrikshas in your courtyard. Right? Tyajya, the next one. Radha Padab Jalila Bhuvi Jayati Sada Mandamandara Koti Shri Radha Kinkarinam Luthati Charanayor Adbhuta Siddhi Koti. Taking shelter of the kinkaris, of the servants of Srimati Radharani. Spiritual master is considered a servant of Srimati Radharani. Basically Mahatmas. Mahatmanastu Mampartha Daivim Prakriti Mashritaha. Those who have taken shelter of Radharani, all these Mahatmas and great devotees, they can give a shelter. Taking shelter of them is like rejecting all kinds of privileges available in this entire material world. So Krishna kept this process of surrendering to his devotional energy in the middle of Bhagavad Gita. And he didn't stop there. Continuing, in the next sloka he said, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dridhavrataha. Those who take shelter of the Daivi Prakriti, those who are Mahatmas, what else do they do? Bhajanti ananya manaso, with the power, with the empowerment given to them by Daivi Prakriti, Srimati Radharani, they do unparalleled bhajan of Krishna. They do bhajan without any distractions in the mind. Bhajanti ananya manaso, and understand Krishna as Bhutadimavyam, as the supreme source of all living entities. And they chant the holy names of Krishna. Constantly they chant the holy names of Krishna. Satatam kirtayanto mam. They constantly chant the names of the Lord. And that chanting is a way to develop love for Krishna and is a way to express love for Krishna. Right? You develop love for Krishna and you demonstrate your love for Krishna by chanting the names of the Lord. In the practice stage, you develop love for Krishna by chanting Krishna's name. In the perfection stage, you demonstrate your love for Krishna by chanting the names of the Lord. Chanting the names of the Lord is not an activity that is supposed to be done only in the practice stage of bhakti. It is done most perfectly in the perfect stage of bhakti. Right? So moving ahead in this glorious teaching, Krishna also, I think I'll just directly go to the last chapter. It's already 9:40 almost. 18th chapter. I'm not going chapter wise anyways. No commitment that I'm going chapter wise. So if you just move little ahead, okay, let me speak something from 11th chapter. There are 5 important ways in which we can connect with Krishna. At the end of 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mat karma krin mat paramo. Mat karma krin mat paramo. Mad bhaktaha sangha varjitaha. Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. Yaha samameti pandava. Mat karma krin, number 1. First thing we need to do is mat karma krin. Do activities for Krishna. Do Krishna's activities. You have to give up karma, right? Yeah, karma is not just material action. Karma is any action. When you say mat karma kran, it is Krishna's action, Krishna's activity, Krishna's work. Right? Mat karma kran. Second is mat paramo. Consider Krishna as your supreme worshipable master. Mad bhaktaha means become a devotee of Krishna. Fourth, sangha varjitaha. Give up all your attachments. Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. Nirvaira means don't have any enmity towards anybody. Sarva bhuteshu means it's not that a devotee doesn't envy one's own family members or society members or one's own people in one's own street or country. Devotee is one who doesn't hate any living being. Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. Krishna is suhridam sarva bhutanam. Devotee is nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. Right? He is a dear friend of all living entities. That is Krishna. And devotee never hates anybody. Because everybody is having Krishna as their well-wisher. How can you hate somebody whose well-wisher is Krishna? If you are hating somebody whose well-wisher is Krishna, how can we claim as devotees of Krishna? So Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu is a description of devotee. And Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam is description of Krishna. And in fact, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam applies to devotee also. Not that he is a replacement of Krishna, he follows the footsteps of Krishna and becomes a genuine well-wisher of all living entities. Thus Krishna not only speaks philosophy and expresses his emotions and love and affection towards all of us, Krishna also very beautifully describes what are his expectations from a devotee. Don't just have a philosophical understanding about me, about my tattva, or don't just have only emotions for me. You should also have a good character. I love this person, but ethically I am a little poor. It doesn't work. Right? You should also develop qualities like compassion, gratitude, kindness, then truthfulness, honesty, and tolerance, gratitude, humility, respecting others, not expecting respect from others. So Krishna gives a big list of qualities that a devotee is supposed to develop in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And in the 13th chapter also he gives many qualities. In the 16th chapter also he gives a big long list of qualities. And in 2nd chapter also he gives big list of qualities. So it's a big menu, 26 qualities or 28 or 30, 40, 20, many multiple counts are there. Adveshtaha sarva bhutana maitraha karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukhakshami. No dvesha, not envying any living entity. Even if you disagree with another devotee, don't disrespect the devotee. Disagreements are common, but disrespecting hurts Krishna's heart. Right? So, gratitude. See, these are some qualities that Krishna expects his devotees to develop. Especially, amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshanti rajyavam. Amanitvam. Be humble. Don't expect respect from others. Amanitvam adambhitvam. Don't be proud. Ahimsa. Don't be violent. We think violence means killing somebody. That is definitely violence. But violence is also to cause hurt to someone's heart through your harsh words. Right? That is also violence, mental violence. Violence committed on an emotional plane, may not be on physical plane. So violence. And like that many other qualities Krishna enumerates. And he also encourages us to avoid negative qualities. Dambho darpo bhimanascha krodha parushyameva Ajnanam cha bhijatasya partha sampadamasurim. Dambha, darpa, abhimana, krodha, parushya. Please give up all these qualities. So then finally he comes to the last chapter, 18th chapter, and gives us this ultimate instructions in 18.65 and 66. One is, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Manmana, always think of Krishna. Bhava madbhakto, become a devotee of Krishna. Madhyaji, worship Krishna. Mam namaskuru, offer obeisances to Krishna. Prabhupada gives a lecture on this shloka and he says, is it difficult? No, not so difficult. Manmana, thinking of Krishna, becoming a devotee, offering obeisances. Is it difficult? No. Prabhupada says that it is very, very simple process that anybody can follow. You don't need to be a multi-millionaire to please Krishna. You don't need to be a very educated scholar to please Krishna. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. That's all. All we need is a sincere intent, pure intent to please Krishna, and Krishna will accept that. So Manmana, Ramanujacharya says, when you say Manmana, always think of Krishna. What exactly does it mean? Mai apara karunya saushilya saundarya madhurya audarya gambhirya vatsalya jaladhau nivishtamana bhava. That is Manmana. Manmana means always think of Krishna. What do you mean by always thinking of Krishna or being Krishna conscious? Always means immerse your mind in 7 oceans of Krishna. You bathe your mind in 7 oceans of Krishna. What are the 7 oceans of Krishna? Mai apara. These are like not normal oceans. Apara oceans means you cannot find their shore. Very vast oceans. Mai apara. What are the 7 oceans? Karunya. Krishna is an ocean of compassion. Saushilya. Krishna is an ocean of good character. Madhurya. Krishna is an ocean of sweetness, unlimited sweetness. Saundarya. Krishna is an ocean of unparalleled beauty. Mayapara, Karunya, Saushilya, Saundarya, Madhurya, Gambhirya. Krishna is also an ocean of gravity. Just because he is sweet and beautiful, that does not mean Krishna is not grave. Without gravity, how can he give teachings of Bhagavad Gita? He can be very playful in Vrindavan also, but he can be very grave on the battlefield of Kurukshetra also. Mayapara, Karunya, Saushilya, Saundarya, Madhurya, Gambhirya, Audarya. Krishna is an ocean of unlimited benevolence. Especially in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna is extremely benevolent. How benevolent he is. Through Arjuna, Krishna gave us Bhagavad Gita teachings, but as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna also gave us Krishna Prema directly. Patra patra vicharanam na kurute nasvam param vikshate Deya deya vimarshako nahi nava kalaha pratiksha prabho Sadyo yaha shravanekshana pranamana dhyanadina durlabham Datte bhaktirasam sa eva bhagavan gaurah param me gati. Patra patra vicharanam na kurute means Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, will never do any vicharana or vislation or any analysis of who is qualified and who is not qualified, who is patra, who is apatra, who is eligible to take Krishna Prema, who is not eligible. He doesn't think about it. Patra patra vicharanam na kurute nasvam param vikshate. Who is my person and who is someone else's. He doesn't discriminate like that. These are my people, these are their people. Hey, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. Where is mine and others? Everybody is his only. So, Nasvam Param Vikshate Deya Deya Vimarshako Nahinava Deya Adeya. Should I give him or not? He doesn't have the dilemma. Should I do it or not? He never had that confusion. I just have to give Krishna Prema. Problem is, people are not ready to accept. But he is ready to give. Deya deya vimarshako nahinava kalaha pratiksha prabho. He doesn't wait for the right time. Kala pratiksha he doesn't do. He never waits for the right time. Whenever he thinks of giving is the right time. He doesn't take any muhurta. Today I'll give you Krishna Prema. 10 p.m., 10 p.m. Right, meet me so and so place. Irrespective of place, person, time, circumstances, background, he just gives. Deya deya vimarshako nahinava kala pratiksha prabho sadyo yaha shravanekshana pranamana dhyanadina durlabham datte bhaktirasam sa eva bhagavan gaurah param me gati. He gives bhakti rasa to anybody, which is very, very difficult to attain by your, sadhana. By your sadhana, darshana, pilgrimage and many other austerities, all the traditional spiritual practices will not enable you to attain that bhakti rasa, which Mahaprabhu gives very freely, without any discrimination. That is the greatness. That's why he is Audarya Samudra.
So we discussed how many samudras? 6. Mai apara karunya saushilya saundarya madhurya gambhirya audarya vatsalya jaladhau. 7th is vatsalya. He's an ocean of affection. Mother Suniti says, my dear son Dhruva, I am one mother, I can give you affection of one mother only. But Krishna can give you the affection of 10 million mothers put together. That is Krishna's affection. So Krishna is compared to 7 oceans here. When you say manmana, it means immerse your minds in these 7 oceans of Krishna. Basically it means think about Krishna's compassion. Meditate on Krishna's benevolence. Immerse your mind in the thoughts of Krishna's beauty. So like that we need to immerse our minds in these 7 oceans. Not so easy. Especially in 2024 with a smartphone in your pocket, it's not that easy. But we need to try. That's the final instruction of Krishna. Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji. And after that, Krishna gives the final instruction. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Sarva dharman parityajya. Now, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, Dharma sammodha chetaha. I am confused about dharma. At the end of Gita, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all dharmas. If someone naively connects these two, Arjuna says, I am confused about dharma. Krishna says, give up dharma. That's not the message of Bhagavad Gita, by the way. Krishna is not just emphasizing on giving up dharma, giving up all dharmas. Krishna is emphasizing on going up in dharma. You raise the standard of your dharma. Don't just settle down to this meager dharma, kshatriya dharma or Arjuna agreed to fight in the battlefield of Kurukshetra not because he was reminded by Krishna that you are a kshatriya. You forgot you are a kshatriya, right? I am reminding you, you are a kshatriya. Correct, I remembered. This is my kshatriya dharma to fight. That's not what Krishna tried to do. Krishna said, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Taking shelter of Krishna is the highest dharma. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje. Performing bhakti unto Krishna without any motivations, without any interruptions. Such unmotivated, uninterrupted, selfless, seamless, causeless, ceaseless bhakti is the supreme dharma of all living entities. So Krishna, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, is saying Sarva dharman parityaja, give up all the other substandard dharmas and raise the level of your dharma to Sarva dharma, mamekam sharanam vraja. So mamekam sharanam vraja, taking exclusive shelter of Krishna is the supreme dharma, and come to that stage. Don't just be too much bothered about these lower dharmas. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Then aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Don't worry. I will take care. Krishna says, he is giving that assurance. It's easier said than done. Remembering the shloka, reciting the shloka, repeating the shloka, writing in the Bhakti Shastri exam, getting full marks and getting certificate may be easy. But it takes a lifetime or some lifetimes to demonstrate this principle that Krishna is emphasizing in the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. But with the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, spiritual master and all Vaishnavas, it is possible. So with this final instruction of Bhagavad Gita, I will just conclude today's session. Thank you very much. Shri Gita Jayanti Maha Mahotsav ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.